Hey everybody, today is December 16th. It's Friday. It's almost Christmas time. I was going to talk about this ridiculous every black resident needs to be given $800,000 and this dude threatening, a former presidential candidate, mind you, was threatening that there will be repercussions if, there'll be serious backlash if they don't give us $800,000 or more for our skin color. But I'm not covering that right now. It's just too heavy for the morning. I was going to look into the Fair Housing Act, which New York is going to put in place, and I did a little bit of looking up, and I found this ClearStar, who performs background checks, criminal background checks for places that want to rent out an apartment or whatever. And they describe what it is. They say that they aren't going to allow there won't be any tenant screening for the landlords to protect their properties, is basically it. They want to remove barriers to housing by prohibiting landlords from discriminating against potential tenants on the basis of a criminal record and to confront a crippling homelessness crisis. So, you could be a criminal, you could be homeless, and we'll just stick you in an apartment. I don't really think people are getting denied a place to stay if they aren't living in a place. That just sounds weird, but okay. So I came over here and I found the video, and if you can see this, it is 5 hours and 19 minutes long, and I am not going to subject you to all of this, but it is here, and I got here by, where was it? To view a video, click here. And it brings you to something like this. And I came over to the calendar and clicked on the video to get this to pop up. If you really want to go search for it and watch this, I don't think you do. So the story, the reason why this made the news is because this dude, a convicted sex offender, went on a racist anti-Asian rant at New York City Council hearing. Because the liberal media doesn't believe black people can be racist, and they didn't want to mention that the convicted sex offender was black. Black people, we can't put black together with convicted sex offender, and we can't put racist in front of anti-Asian rant because black people just can't be racist according to the liberal media, so we have to do a lot of verbiage adjustments to make this fit our narrative and make him not seem so bad, sort of. The reason why this made the news is because after all of this, after his rant, as they put it, no one interrupted his rant. They allowed him to speak every word, and they didn't interrupt him. Now, if any person, I don't know, let's say he said, it really sucks to live in this town because of the Jews, he would have been canceled immediately. Or if a white person had said, we can't live in this neighborhood because of all the blacks here, that would have gotten him canceled immediately. There would have been outrage, cancel culture. They might have burned down the city council building. But this guy is allowed to discriminate and be an incredible racist, and no one interrupted him. And the fact that he's a convicted sex offender, a pedo, makes it just that much worse, I would think. Let's read the story. From the 12th, from Yahoo News, a very reputable source in news. A convicted sex offender who is now a member of an advocacy group was reportedly allowed to unleash anti-Asian remarks at a New York City Council hearing on Friday. Douglas Powell, who was found guilty in 2012 of an attempted criminal sex act with a victim under 15 years old in 2008, appeared at the hearing in support of a proposed law that would prevent landlords from conducting criminal background checks on potential tenants, according to the New York Post. And this other video of it. There's a few videos of it on YouTube already. Now, it doesn't say how old the victim is. Under 15 is 15 years of range, and I am not going to look that up. If you want to, you can. I'm not doing that here. That's not what this channel is about. The 59-year-old level 2 sex offender, I'm not looking that up, is now part of Voices of Community, activists, and leaders, Vocal NY, an advocacy group that empowers people affected by HIV or AIDS, drug use, and mass incarceration. He said he resides in Rego Park, which he describes in his speech as the most racist neighborhood he has ever been in. It's nothing but Asians there. If you go into a store, they will follow you around like you're getting ready to steal something, he claimed at the hearing. They don't want black people living in black people neighborhoods because it's not their neighborhood, because they're from China, they're from Hong Kong, we from New York. Those Asian women, he delivered his tirade after 2 Asian women and 2 white women testified against the proposed law over public safety concerns. Now, I'm going to stop right there and double check, because we now have 2 Asians, 2 white women, and what race is this guy? Did they say that Douglas Powell is a black guy? No. Douglas Powell, a black man, who was found guilty in 2012 of blah, blah, blah. That would have been something. No. This black man said he resides in Rego Park. They could have put that, but no. We're just supposed to infer that... Are we supposed to infer anything? Like, how are we supposed to... Those Asian women were Yaitan Chu, president of the Asian Wave Alliance, and Susan Lee, a former city council candidate. This is not about felonies, it's about race, it's about black people, Powell claimed. Did you see the Asian people just been talking? Not a single council member stopped or objected to Powell's racist anti-Asian tirade, according to reports. Well, you can watch the video. Then she tweeted something. Okay. Can you imagine if he was saying the same thing about blacks, Hispanics, or Jewish people? Would our electeds be silent and move on as if nothing racist happened? They from China, Hong Kong, we from New York. Oh, this says they and not there. What does that mean? We are not New Yorkers? That we don't deserve a say? He called our testimony garbage. Lee also expressed outrage at the lack of response from the council members. Yeah. Council member Sandra Ung, who was not at the hearing, also denounced Powell's remarks as racist and divisive. Comments at today's New York City Council hearing attacking Asian Americans were racist and divisive. Racial attacks like this have no place in our city, much less in council chambers, and we should be condemning... and should be condemned by all, she said in a tweet. Amid the backlash, Natasha Williams, who chairs the committee that presided over the hearing, issued a belated statement on the incident. She condemned racism but offered no apology for her lack of immediate action. In reference to yesterday's hearing on fair chance for housing, racism and discrimination hurt us all in different ways, and responding to them with similar rhetoric is never the solution. As a black woman... What? Why? A member of one of the most hated and disrespected demographics on the planet, I know personally how deeply hurtful language can be to our progress as a people and one's personal safety. This just rings hollow. She continued, the prejudice against both, inferring to, Asian communities, black communities, and justice-involved folks is a product of systematic racism that we must stand against. In May, I held a hearing on hate crimes to highlight the recent increase in anti-Asian hate in our city. I felt it was important to ensure our Asian brothers and sisters had both the support and resources they needed to combat hate. Our liberation is rooted in each other's freedoms. That is why I denounce any hateful comments directed towards any community. But you let this person... Criticism, however, only continued. You had a lot to say the entire hearing, yet crickets when he mocked and insulted Susan Lee. Your tweet should have been clear, decisive apology for allowing this to happen. You allowed him to continue. Instead, a convoluted tweet apology. Yeah, so they're getting ripped. Now, I had a couple thoughts on this, too. This dude, here. This is the dude. Can I blow that picture? Oh, wow. There we go. And blow it up like that. Alright, this dude right here. We have a convicted pedo that advocates on the behalf of folks with HIV and AIDS, drug users, and folks that were incarcerated. He describes his residence as the most racist neighborhood he has ever been in, and only Asians live there. He could move. New York isn't cheap. What is keeping him there? They don't want black people living in black people neighborhoods. But dude just said only Asians live there, so isn't it an Asian neighborhood? Because they're from China, they're from Hong Kong, we from New York. Sadly, no one corrected him on his grammar. We are from New York. And based on his logic, and I'll put this in a similar rhetoric, he's from Africa. He from southern Benin. In case no one gets that joke, southern Benin is the region that was once called Dahomey. And if you're still confused, that's where the Agoji tribe resided. And if you still don't get it, you didn't watch The Woman King. The Agoji tribe were a slave trader tribe nation with women fighters that were easily wiped out by the French. I'm saying maybe, just maybe, this convicted pedo's ancestors were gifted a ticket to America by the Agoji. It's possible. This channel is definitely getting a strike. He also said, if you go into a store, they will follow you around like you're getting ready to steal something. I was going to insert footage here of shops getting robbed in broad daylight or security guards stopping criminals, but you can find that all over YouTube and the news. Although Lori Lightfoot is trying to put a stop to that by encrypting police radio scanners. She's trying to make it so that the Chicago press are unable to cover Chicago crime. One of those situations where if no one talks about the crime, Lori can't be criticized for the super-duper high crime rate. My point is about the Asian shopkeepers is that maybe they have noticed a trend in criminality and race, just like the convicted pedo. Why else would he be advocating for criminals to be housed and say that the folks he is advocating for are black? The pedo unintentionally called black people criminals. And if you think this is speculation, he also said, this is not about felonies, it's about race. It's about black people. Yeah, before I get my channel 2 strikes in a single video, avoid blue cities. Maybe that's the takeaway from this. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm done.